All right, hello everybody. My name is John. With me we've got Steve and Walter, and together we built TrendGetter. So what is TrendGetter? During the preliminary conversations about the project, we discovered that it's very hard to keep up with all of the trending topics. There's so much out there, so much that people are talking about, and it's all over the place. So what we tried to do is pull together a list of the trending topics and keep you informed all in one place. So in order to do that, we took information from Twitter's API, pulling the top trending topics, and we turned those results into a keyword that we would then call out to Wikipedia and YouTube to populate our page with relevant information on those topics. What we did, design-wise, this is sort of my role. I worked on the front end. Steve worked very heavily on the back end, and Walter did a bit of both. And I could speak to the design. I thought the use of photos was very important because, for one, a trending topic is just words. We don't always know what that looks like. It's easy for us to remember Brad Pitt. I don't think we all need to be reminded what he looks like. But there are some people that we don't know what they look like, but if we see them, we would. And so I wanted to make sure that we incorporated photos first and foremost and kind of make them the focal point of the initial design. Beyond that, we wanted to keep everything clean. We're trying to pull all of this information into one place. It wouldn't be useful if all of that information in one place was all over the place. So we wanted to make sure that we kept everything clean, concise, and easy to read. This is one of the initial design mock-ups that we made. We went through a few changes with the design, I gotta be honest. Initially, we had that carousel along the top only. Then we jumped to a full screen carousel. And we ran into some issues in that the photos we were able to get from the APIs weren't high res enough to keep that full screen carousel. So sort of forced back into our initial design, which turned out to work beautifully in my opinion. In order to get all of our stuff on the same page, I'm going to jump to balsamic mockups on the bottom. That's one of the technologies we use. That's what we just saw on the last screen. Again, I mentioned the Twitter API, the YouTube API, Wikipedia. The design overall is made using Bootstrap. Steven rather magically figured out how to use regular expressions in about 10 minutes to make something work, and he tried to explain it to me, and it was so hard that I still don't even necessarily know what he was talking about. And we also used jQuery to make a lot of this function. So let's see how it works. So this is it. This is what it looks like when you load up. On load, the first call to Twitter is made. From there, it jumps to Wikipedia, which then calls YouTube. And at this point, all we see is that carousel with trending topics, each with its own image. If we click on one of these images, below that, it populates a quick Wikipedia snippet with a link to the full article, as well as a relevant video. That video is being pulled from YouTube, and you can see the video plays. We've got a cute little girl. She's not finding eggs, but she should be. Now she is. There we go. And we thought, that's great. That's awesome. People are talking about this stuff. But let's see what happens if your topic's not there. Does anybody want to give me a quick trending topic? Something hot? Batman versus Superman. There we go. So what we did is we incorporated a search that allows you to enter your own topic, which then populates into that carousel, grabs the image, and functions just the same. We found that useful because, again, there's a lot to talk about, and we're only pulling the very basic, the top trending topics, but you might want to know something else. Rochelle, we know you're a Grumpy Cat fan. Grumpy Cat works. It's awesome. There you go. And that's the original Grumpy Cat, little baby guy. Cool. And I think at this point is a good time to hand it over to Steven, who was going to walk you through the code. Sure.
Hi everyone, this is TrendGetter. So let's show you what's happening underneath the hood. Now for basically we're grabbing information from different APIs. We have to have containers for that, and we're also saving to Firebase too, and I'll get to what I'm doing with that later. But yeah, so I have these containers here for all the information, and then in my functions I have a few things for formatting and displaying, as well as the main interface for calling the APIs. So let's focus on the big meat and potatoes here. The main API call, first it's just doing some checking on the Firebase end, and I'll get back to that later, but I just wanted to show this because if anyone's ever worked with Ajax before, they know that if you make an Ajax call to save information, if you don't use promises, sometimes JavaScript will run even though it doesn't have the information you're looking for. So this basically starts a domino between all of the different API calls. We call the Twitter function. Twitter gets called. It grabs the latest tweets and pushes it all into an array on the site, but only when that's done will it go to the Wikipedia. And basically what's happening here is for each trend, we're calling the Wikipedia API. Then we call the Wikipedia API, and we just make sure we can actually get the information we're looking for. So we'll get the title, of course, we'll get the introduction, we'll also get an image. Now, wiki each is where we define how we grab the Wikipedia information, because I use that also for the user trends function. And in wiki each, I have containers for all of those subjects. We're going through each of the Wikipedia pages, of which there's only one, but that's the only way we can grab the page ID so we can get the information. Here's with the regex right here. So when we run the API, it'll give us the thumbnail image. It won't give us the full res image. But we can take from that all the information we need in order to make the URL for the thumbnail. And it's not just deleting like the thumbnail word from the URL. You have to grab like the specific containers on the server where it's at. You have to also grab the name of the file that you're looking for, and then once that happens we can construct a new URL to actually grab that information. So regular expressions came in handy there. But yeah, once we make sure we have all the information, we go on to the next portion, which is kicking it off to YouTube. And with that info, we go to YouTube, we grab the most relevant video, and we save it to our appendages array, and then we also push that to Firebase. Then we can actually display all the information with a function call for carousel display. So basically we save all the information to the site. Yes? Okay. So we save all the information to the site, and we make sure that we can grab it later on. Now for why we're using Firebase, so when it comes to the Twitter API, you can only make 15 calls every 15 minutes. So if this site was being used by thousands of people and I didn't code a workaround, 15 people would be able to find the information, and the thousands of other people who are trying it would not be able to use it. So what we do with Firebase is we save everything we want to display on the site off-site. So we have it on Firebase now. And if 5 minutes hasn't passed, then we know it's too early to call another API call. So basically it will only call 3 times every 15 minutes and ensure everyone can use it. And if it has passed 5 minutes, then and only then will we run the API call and get the site working. Yeah, so I'm going to bring it over to Walter.
Hi everybody, I guess I have 1 minute left. I will speak really quickly. For the future of TrendGetter, one of the things we've discussed is that it could be an aggregator that has a persistent point in time what was trending. Also improving the algorithm so that it is better equipped to give you an accurate result. Like Friday, Supernatural was trending, and it brought up like a picture of the Virgin Mary, and it was not really relevant since Supernatural, the television show, is trending, not the aspect of supernatural events in the world. Some other thoughts are that we would include a New York Times API search. in a third well down at the bottom. And that is all of our time, and thank you for listening.